the Zeri and the Lucian, of course, some high mobility champions here for that marksman side. On the other hand, no Shen, no Aatrox available for Weibo Gaming.
Yeah, I really love the Shen ban for the side of Cerberus, because Shen would be really good in terms of supporting both the Akali and the Camille when they go in. I also love this pick right now from Genza. It's gonna be that Tristana. Tristana has two ways to peel for herself in fights. The Buster Shot can push away any of these champions that are going on top of her, which is going to be either the Camille or the Akali. Even though the Akali as well, if she uses the Hextech Ultimatum and the Tristana is the correct angle, she can push the Camille out of the Hextech Ultimatum, and that renders the Hextech Ultimatum kaput, and then the Tristana can just jump away. So I love right now both the draft for both of these teams.
Yeah, a lot more emphasis on counterplay coming in from Cerberus Esports, but of course they have that hint of being a lot more proactive with the Lee Sin jungle. Now, it is going to be countered by the likely Jace jungle here by Fan, and that is something that really can't contest the Lee Sin, especially earlier on in the game with the amount of damage that a Jace can do. Now, I'm going to be very interested in this bot lane because Duan Yu actually picked up the Ashe, and we've seen the Ashe do really well for our APAC teams, but now Weibo Gaming is going to be picking it up against one of those APAC teams.
Yeah, we'll see how this Ashe can impact the game. Ashe still has her ultimate. You can direct it a bit, but it's still a skill shot that takes a lot of practice to use. So we'll see if they'll be able to hit priority targets against Cerberus Esports.
I bet as long as they play it, you know, like a pick setter, you know. Yeah. Just use that enchanted crystal arrow to set something up in the mid lane, in a bot lane, somewhere where the team is pushing. Whenever it's on off cooldown, look for, you know, any single pick. And I think that if they're able to do that, Weibo Gaming is going to get so much value from that one pick alone.
Yeah. We'll see how these two teams. You know, we talk about all of these theories, imaginations on what could happen, but in practice the teams will show us how they will execute. And as we get into this game, I'm very curious on the early game, because I feel like a lot of the onus for something to happen would be on the side of Cerberus. They do have the Twisted Fate, which can impact the game earlier on. So if Cerberus Esports can make a more safe early game for them and then wait for this Twisted Fate to go around the map to impact the side lanes, then that could be a way for Cerberus to snowball the game into their favor.
That is something that can be used as an avenue to get into this game, but to get to that point, you know, Cerberus, they have to survive the early game plans of Weibo Gaming. They have to get VMM to a spot where when he does use that Destiny, when he does get that global gank off, it has to be incredibly relevant. You know, he can't just be in a place where he's you know, just tied up against the Akali, because then, you know, when the Akali comes in, she's arguably a lot more efficient when it comes to counter ganking during those later fights.
True. And to add to that as well, as you mentioned, we need to see BMM to get to that good state. You mentioned earlier how Jace has a winning matchup against the Lee Sin, so we have to also look into that as they interact in this map. Because if Jace can take control of the enemy side jungle, it's gonna be hard for BMM to go to the side lanes, because it's gonna allow the Akali, as you mentioned, to go for these counter ganks where she would be really good at catching as she walks to side lanes as well to back up the team. So that's also something that we will have to look at, and how Cerberus Esports will control the pacing of the jungle. Lee Sin, in his own right, is also a really good ganking jungler, but when he gets to level 5, he can make those insect plays to also, you know, add to how he would impact the map. So right now, there's not a lot of jungle interaction, but Y1 so far in the top side, they might. Okay, Xian's not that low. They won't be going for this dive right now, but bot lane might be in a bit more of a pickle.
Yeah, because Fan is looking to secure Scuttle Crab, maybe not gank, but definitely put a little bit more safety for his bot lane down. They are going to be relying on Duan Yu later on to basically set up their game plan, right? Once that Ash hits that ultimate level, she is going to be basically looking to launch that arrow anywhere. So the Weibo Gaming will just kind of turn on a switch, you know, and try to look for something around the map.
Yeah, definitely. No kills yet, and this is so far going to what we were talking about. CES wants to happen in this game. Safe lane for him, but bad.
Accelerated shock blast did hit Taku, but that Fiora is going to be a-okay just fine to get out of there and heal up. But that tower is going to be taking a beating. Already one play down.
Yeah, Akena's gonna come here for the reinforce. We'll see if they're gonna go for a fight. Doesn't seem so. But yeah, as you mentioned, tower's getting a beating. I think that's too big already. Oh, actually, an arrow!
Good riposte timing. Great riposte timing by Taku. The arrow did hit, but it did nothing. So well done there. Good reaction time on that Fiora.
Yeah, presence of mind there from the Fiora to block the arrow. Could have been something. But Y1 going in.
Kratos, he could be in a lot of danger here. Destiny's been popped as well. He is going to get gold carded, but he uses his W move, his fiery breath, to keep himself out of CC, but he had to be going towards this. So unfortunately, that is going to be first blood to CES.
Yeah, first blood goes to CES. Great reaction from them. Looking at this replay right here, it was all with the rotation from Y1. After seeing the top side going for the gank, he immediately went mid, tried to go for it, but Kratos trying to go for some vision, maybe trying to spot out the Lee Sin, was unfortunately caught out right there by Cerberus Esports, gifting the first blood towards the deck.
Yeah, now Akeno on the run here from the chase from Fan. Weibo Gaming, they can end up with a lot of lane control here. They are choosing to switch up the lanes pretty early on in the game. This is a pretty good way to keep Cerberus Esports on alert and see how they respond to this, because the bot lane's been switched up to the mid lane already.
Definitely. This is where the imbalance might be in terms of pressure from what these seems, because ideally you want a Twisted Fate to be in the mid lane so that he could go for the side lane. So on the other hand, the Weibo Gaming wants the dual lane to be in mid lane, because the arrow can be shot to the top side or even to the dragon side, while Ornn can just walk a bit and also use his ultimate. So now the two long range skill shots that deal a lot of CC are in the mid lane for Weibo, while they're probably just gonna leave this Susanna on her own on the side lane, and she can definitely shove waves on her own.
And then just trade out objectives here. Infernal Drake goes to Cerberus Esports. Rift Herald goes to Weibo Gaming. It's a 1-for-1, pretty even, but you know, you always love an Infernal Drake. Get you that little bit more player damage. So Cerberus Esports gonna have that, but there's the kind of China Crystal Arrow in the mid lane. Sounds like Keno up, but that was just a setup to get Shelly to charge in and take that turret down. First turret for Weibo Gaming.
Yeah, first turret goes to Weibo Gaming. Y1? Okay.
Coming in with a Dragon's Rage, but they flash after it and they get the kill onto that Ashe. There's not much she could do. The CC layering was perfect here, and Fan was not fast enough to save his comrade.
Yeah, for a moment there, I think Weibo Gaming thought they were safe. There was not going to be an insect, but a Keno.
Oh, they get the counter engage here onto Keno and Y1. Fan is absolutely beating them up. There is the Ornn Horn coming in to knock Y1 up. There's a revenge kill coming in from Fan. The incredibly healthy Jace still. You can see how much damage he can do even in the jungle.
Yeah, Keno not reading the map correctly there, whereas where Weibo Gaming was, he tried to go for vision, which was something that they needed, but didn't expect that there was going to be more Weibo Gaming members near their blue buff. As I was going back earlier, but before that, I think there might be a topside dive.
It looks like they are trying to dive Taku. He hasn't riposted yet, but he's already incredibly low. He just goes for the riposte now, and then the Hextech Ultimatum. They get out of there. The gold card lands onto Sihan, but he is out of the way already. There's Jack Crystal swinging a miss right behind DMM. Akana there to back him up as Zihan and Fan just hold the ties here before the Twisted Fate and the Gragas.
Yeah, before we hit the 6-minute mark, I was about to praise Cerberus Esports with a very good defensive gaming. They were able to stem the bleeding. Yes, they did lose mid lane, but they got a kill out of it. But after that, they were giving up kills left and right to Weibo Gaming, and Weibo Gaming just out-tempoing Cerberus Esports at the moment. It feels like Weibo Gaming is just keep on putting the pressure, and Cerberus Esports has not answered correctly with some of these rotations that we see in terms of trying to defend their laners. First example of that was in the top side, right? We did see 2 times already where Fiora was stepping a bit too far from the tower, and the Jace was there. The Camille was there to take advantage of the Fiora being a bit too far from safety.
Yeah, you have to be very aware of where you are and where the enemies are on the map. If you don't see anybody there, the arrow hits onto Taku, and he's on for so long, and that just sets up this tower to be taken for free by Weibo Gaming. Great use of that arrow to reinforce macro decisions.
Yeah, Weibo Gaming right now not taking any fights against Cerberus Esports. You mentioned macro decisions for both of these teams. Since it was Weibo Gaming who started it out first, Genza, that was a very aggressive jump in. Yeah, ambitious definitely from Genza. He does have the first strike, so he is looking to burst a single target down super fast on that Tristana. But going back to my point earlier, but before that, actually BMM might be looking for a gap bot.
Yeah, because they are trying to get in there. Yes, Destiny works out, and they're going to be isolating that Akali and double teaming her until she dies. As that is a very clean pick off from Cerberus Esports. Great use of the Destiny. Now they're looking for more. There's the explosive cast, but that just brings Fan over to 60. Kratos is getting pretty low, but he is very tanky enough to survive that fight.
I believe Fan also used his flash right there to get out of the cast range to be able to be pushed out to safety. So good flash right there from Fan. He would have immediately been deleted by this Tristana. As you mentioned, she does have the first strike. So whenever she does hit, she has that passive up, she can burst down the target. But right now, I feel like CES still needs to do something to stabilize control over the map. Weibo Gaming has just been pushing them out, especially across this river. You can see there's a ward right now on the blue side jungle of Weibo of CES. That shows how much control Weibo Gaming has on the map right now.
Yeah, Weibo Gaming is, make no mistake, they're making this map their own. They look so much more comfortable just moving around and claiming spaces for themselves. Their macro is impeccable. The way they move with each other through the jungle, they're basically daring CES to come in, and CES, they know they can't do that without sweepers, without enough wards. So they are respecting Weibo's hold on the jungle, and if they respect it too much, they might just get this dragon for free.
Yeah, dragon's about 1000 HP at this point, Jitan.
It's already gone, and they're gonna go for the fight afterwards. Akeno gets knocked up. There's 2 victims of the Oranhorn. There's a Hextech ultimatum onto the back, onto Taku. Bo3 has to get away with it with the hook shot. There's a China Crisaro lands. If he didn't even have time to go card. Now Y1 is the one who's next. And Taku and Genza trying to get away behind their tower. Faye, did he land that shuriken? I'm not sure, but he didn't follow up. So we might not have landed it, but that's still Weibo Gaming accelerating the pace of this game.
Yeah, definitely. And Weibo Gaming getting a lot of kills against Cerberus Esports. They're also going to be picking up this mid lane turret, and so far it feels like the game has just been out of tempo on the side of Cerberus Esports. Going to this replay right here, the dragon was definitely given for free by Cerberus Esports. Weibo Gaming was able to pick that up, and right now in this fight, there's not a lot to say here because it feels like Cerberus Esports didn't know what to do. They didn't know how to react on this engage coming from Weibo Gaming. They weren't to set themselves up to try to counter this fight, and they were just picked off one by one. As we mentioned earlier, they have the Camille, they have the Akali, and both of these champs are really good in these kinds of like big skirmishes. You can isolate these targets and just get them one by one. Unfortunately for Cerberus Esports so far, they are being out-tempoed by the whole Weibo Gaming team.
Yeah, the Weibo Gaming squad is really good at stopping tempo plays before they even happen. I mean, look at how disciplined they were, and just setting up vision, setting up territory, and making sure that Cerberus Esports had to fight a war to even just get in position to fight for this blue buff. Look at how much they had to do, and then they're getting contested right here, right now. Fan's the one who even takes it. And there is the Orange Horn as well as the Ash Arrow. Big landing onto the Gragas, and he's immediately picked off zero things he can do there because he was CC'd for 300 years, and that is a free kill for Weibo Gaming. They immediately head toward the Baron.
Yeah, it's gonna be the Baron take right here from Weibo Gaming. There's still 4 members of Cerberus Esports. This still could potentially be a dangerous take for Weibo, but they're not taking it. They're not starting it. They're just baiting out.
They're baiting it.
Yeah, definitely. They're baiting out Cerberus Esports right now. They want them to come towards them because they spent a lot of their long-range CC. They spent both the arrow and the Oran Horn. Now they want Cerberus Esports to be to come towards it, to lay out that trap and maybe get more kills and get Baron from there. But Cerberus Esports also showing some discipline. They saw Weibo Gaming not going for the Baron, so they just went back to the map and are currently shoving some sidelines.
Yeah, a little bit of discipline, a little bit of good gameplay here to just respect the potential from Weibo Gaming. Is Cerberus Esports really needs to find a handle on this game. Destiny will pop up, and there's a big attempt here by Akeno with the explosive cast, but then the Destiny comes in and he's not able to launch that gold card. There's the Oran Horn re-engage as Taku is immediately accosted. Akeno's the one who gets collected though for the second one. There's the Chad Crystal Arrow landing onto Genza way in the back as Taku had to flash out of there as Weibo Gaming get another couple of kills for themselves. As they drop no players, they immediately get into the Baron.
Yeah, and this is just gonna be the Baron. There's no smite right now for Cerberus Esports. Is 5k HP. Cerberus gonna go for a desperate fight here.
Are they gonna try for it? Because there's the gold card. Gen's already jumped in. Taku's a little bit low. Will they try to go for the steal? There's the smite though. This fan, you're not going to outsmite him. Yeah. Especially not in a game that is this impactful for them.
I like the try from Genza, putting the bomb right there, explosive shot, and then trying to burst it down. But unfortunately, it was at such a high health that it wouldn't have been a 50-50 with a smite. It would just be helping the enemy jungler. But another arrow.
Yeah, it hits this time, but there's not enough follow-up. BMM was a little bit far, but the one you can see the hit rate on these enchanted crystal arrows. Very, very high. Y1 trying to go for an insect play. It does work. They've managed to isolate Fan, but he's going to be able to get away. There is the Hextech ultimate to lock that Gragas down, though, as BMM tries to use the Destiny to help out. And the tables were turned, man. The Weibo Gaming come out on top.
Yeah. Weibo Gaming is just so strong at this point that they're just waiting for Cerberus Esports to come to them. And now they're shoving all sides, all lanes. Mid lane's about to fall.
Oran Horn and a big knock up onto Genza. He manages to flash away. Kratos manages to get away with his big headbutt move. Now Zuhan bringing the wave down into the bottom lane in hip turret. Add to the sky labs onto that TF space. The Jace goes down in his place as the hip turrets are all dying. Top one is falling finally to Faye, and that is a clean out base if I've ever seen one for Cerberus Esports.
Yeah. Cerberus Esports have no more structures other than their Nexus in their base. Weibo Gaming is just retreating right now with only suffering one casualty. They have definitely total control over this game, and Cerberus Esports right now might just be planning what to do for Game 2.
Yeah, if you're a Cerberus Esports, you really just have to look towards the future here. No point in dwelling in the past, or if you can try to gotta focus yourself and try to get the best team fight possible, because that is somewhere where they are failing. They could let it get to 15, let everybody get to max level, max item, and they'll have a little bit better of a chance right there, but that arrow will land and it will scare off Genza and BMM. That along with the Call of the Forge God as the Sonic Wave hits Faye. I don't think Y1 really wants to take that. There's the rest of Cerberus or Weibo Gaming to catch him as they are waiting for this next Dragonfall.
Yeah, Dragon's about to fall. Even though we did say, yeah, Cerberus Esports will have to think about Game 2. Let's just go back as well on what happened, right? Between these two teams. Weibo Gaming just were really out macroing Cerberus Esports in the whole map, and Cerberus Esports wasn't able to use their composition, their engage, the setups from the TF. They tried it once, they were able to do it on Akali, but it wasn't replicated again, as Weibo Gaming right now is sieging on the Nexus.
Sieging real hard here. No more Baron Buffalo, so at least there's that. as Genza, look at that damage by that Tristana. He manages to single out Fan, and that could be a fail mistake there. Oh, sorry, not Fan, but the Camille, as they are starting to fight back forth. There's Oranhorn. He has to get it, and actually he gets denied completely. Akeno then immediately gets taken out. Weibo Gaming having to run from the Destiny. There's the gold card on the Fan, but he cleanses it immediately. There's a Sonic Wave though. Will there be follow-up? Yes, it will. Y1 trying to go for it. He goes golden as well. And now Weibo Gaming, they are being rebuffed. They are getting chased out. Sonic Wave will not land. There's the Ash W's to keep them away, to keep them slow. And oh my god, he put Shurikens back in. Did you mean to do that, Faye? He does have the Shroud, but he gets Sonic Wave, so Y1 can just recast. But that sacrifice.
Look at Kratos.
Oh my god, Kratos, what are you doing? Chat to Crystal Arrow. He was not ready to end the fight just yet.
Yeah, I think that was a moment where Weibo just, for a second, lost the plot, lost the concentration, especially Faye, having a bit of Lee syndrome, catching on that shuriken. That was very ambitious, I would say, but that has now allowed us to get to the point where Elder Dragon has spawned, and this could be something that Cerberus Esports, if they can get this cleanly, if they can steal this, it's not a high chance.
It could be the turning point.
It could be. It's just not a high chance at this point.
Fan has been isolated, but immediately uses his cleanse. There's the Oranhorn coming through. Call the Forge God onto 2. As Akeno is going to get piled up on. He gets knocked up, but the knockback coming in from the explosive cast. Kratos is the man in the front. He's got a huge task to try to go for these kills. And there's a Chatty Crystal Arrow once again. And a Shuriken will land on the TF. There's not much that he can do about that from the top rope, as Y1 is the next one to go home. And they are just dismantling Cerberus Esports one at a time, and Weibo Gaming cleanly get those 4 kills.
Yeah, and Taco's right now asking, where are my team? I'm the only one here defending the Nexus.
Don't you hate it when that happens?
Definitely.
Oh, he's gonna hate this as he tried to get back into the fountain. He's not gonna be able to. The final kiss, the cherry on top for Weibo Gaming as they complete game number 1.
Yeah, Weibo Gaming with a very good map